Yes, guys, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. We are back for our Monday night special. We should call this Monday Night Club. That kind of sounds a bit cooler, doesn't it? Monday Night Club on Chasing Green Arrows. Dean, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Not the best week, obviously. It was a weird one. But yeah, Haaland blanks again. That's where we're at, mate. Very weird, this. This is starting to become a thing. I just tweeted as I put out the link, can we dare to ditch him? And, you know, I'm not sure we can, but I mean, why not? He's not the must-have he was. Obviously, you just got the risk of when you do that, he bags a hat-trick. So it's obviously a massive risk. But I don't know, if you're looking to make up some, you know, for me, for example, I'm not looking to hold a position right now. I've got to do something different at some point in the season if I'm going to get back in the mix at the top. And one of those things, obviously, I'm talking about Salah as triple captain at the weekend, but the next thing beyond that might be to ditch Haaland and
you don't need to go suicidal on your team, mate. You don't not yet.
Why is it suicide? He's not what he was.
You don't need to captain him every week. That's a fair point.
Okay,
when funds isn't an issue. Well, I don't know, maybe funds is an issue if you want Kane or whatever. But yeah, I think you're all right for the time being. But you can go against him on captaincy. That's a big call. Like those Rashford this week were heavily rewarded, weren't they? Like Rashford 15 points, Haaland 2. Like, with hindsight, it looks like a pretty sensible call. That Rashford's flying, Haaland's not. Fixture was there for Rashford. We know Leicester aren't great at the back. Yeah,
it was Forest for Haaland, wasn't it? And that was what we were talking
Forest
about.
With no fit centre backs. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he didn't score, then when are they? This is the problem. I don't know, but yeah, it's no longer the no-brainer that it was earlier in the season. I guess it's a good thing because it means people are going to mix it up now. Just whether you're brave enough to do it.
Yeah. Dean, we got loads with us on Monday Night Club in the chat, and loads have remembered the conversation we had on Friday. Thank you, CH. Higher Team Green, he says. Cameron says, great to be part of another CJ stream. Nickname is yet to be decided, or am I sticking to Janny and Jones's Barmy Army? Love that. For those that didn't tune in on Friday, we had a little bit of discussion around nicknames for our key followers and supporters. So what should we refer to you as? Dean is a host on a very successful pod called Ranks FC. And the Patreon follows of that pod are referred to constantly by Dean and his co-hosts as Dean, the Ultras, right?
They're the Ultras in there. I mean, generally, we've always called our listeners the Rank Squad. So we've got the Rank Squad, but then, on Patreon, the people that stump up money to listen to the extra pods, they're the Ultras, yeah.
You've got two tiers of fans.
We've got two tiers of fans, yeah. The casuals and then the hard. It's basically like the general podcast listeners are like the home fans. Well, the Ultras, they're the ones that go to all the away games. Like they're the ones that don't miss it. You know, they're the hardcore.
I love that.
So that's how we separate them. Yeah.
So if we were to build a 5-a-side team of Ultras, we'd have Eddie, we'd have CH, FPL River. I think Haley would be in the mix. Eddie would be there. Yeah, we got a fair few. Did I mention FPL River? He's got Cameron would be there too.
Nuclear.
Nuclear up top.
Yeah, Nuclear would be there. Mohamed's normally knocking around, but he's not here tonight, I don't think.
No.
But yeah, we definitely have our regulars. CFC Blues, Potter out. All right, don't spam us with it. We will talk about it.
We're about to put you in our 11 there, CFC Blues. Now that we've done. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We do this every Monday, the Monday Night Club on Chasing Green Arrows. We're here for the next 55 minutes. Coming up in today's show, we're going to be looking at Dean's notebook as always. I've got my eye test report. We're going to be doing some bonus beasts from the weekend just gone. Of course, looking at our teams, but also looking ahead to what we're thinking we'll do with our early transfer thoughts as well. So loads coming up. CH says Dal is the manager. Amazing. Oh, Mark, that's a night. Mark should be in our 11 as well. Mark said Curver Green. I
Yeah,
like
Mark should
that,
be.
Mark. Bringing in a bit of Serie A love for me.
Yeah, but it is English FPL, so
Yeah, I'm
not.
playing the Serie. Maybe
I
you
saw
need to
that. Yeah,
play the Serie A with me next
yeah.
season, and we can do a bit of content on that.
Yeah, we can try it. But yeah, Mark is here every week. Matthew says, "Well, I'm a new regular, soon to be an ultra." Yeah, that's good. We have definitely picked up a few more new regulars recently. So thanks to everyone that has started jumping on regularly. We do really appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully they're all hitting the subscribe button. And guys, when you subscribe, I'm guessing many of you know this, but if you hit the bell, you get alerted every time we go live. Because it's like, for example, on Friday, we're not sure what time we're going live yet. It's not going to be at 7 o'clock. There's a deadline before that. So we'll be going live at, like, I don't know, say 4 o'clock. But to be alerted of that, if you hit that bell, then you get that notification. So out of interest from not just the regulars, but anyone in the chat right now, there's 113 of you. Just let us know in the chat if you currently have hit that alarm bell. I'm really keen to know what percentage of our audience, because I don't think there's a way of checking what percentage of our audience actually do have alerts set. Like maybe it's 3 or 4 of you, or maybe it's 30 or 40 of you. So let us know in the chat. Just good research.
It's good. Yeah, because the more people we have watching live, it makes the shows much better. Like Friday's show, we had so much interaction. It flew by, but like it was a great show, and like I just love it when we got more people actually asking us questions live. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I love it when I managed to catch you." So we were just, I've been wondering, do you know that we're going live all the time? Do you occasionally miss one? And it's annoying. A few people saying they've hit the bell, so that's good. If you haven't hit the bell, maybe hit it right now, just to make sure that you don't miss that one on Friday. It's Friday's a big one. Fulham are playing Wolves that night, so we've got to move it forward anyway because I'll be going to that game, and we are chasing the top four, mate. We are on the rampage here. Fulham, tiny little Fulham, are representing West London because of an absence of anything down the road at Chelsea these days. We're in a battle with Brentford for the Champions League spot to see who's the new Chelsea. And I'm excited because I think we're going to do Wolves, and I think top 6 is actually realistic for Fulham at the moment. I'm getting a bit overexcited. Yeah.
You're
I
getting
got a bit
so
carried away.
overexcited, considering how poor you were at the weekend. I know you got the 3 points. But I think
you're allowed different game plans.
Oh, yeah, true. But I love XG, mate. And if you've seen the XG numbers from that game, I think Brighton had over 2, and I think Fulham had like 0.2.
I'm so proud of us for pulling out a performance like that, because Fulham aren't normally capable of doing things like that, and we've done it. Like, it just shows another side to our character.
I wish we could complement the Fulham chat with some really good FPL options, because Mitrovic and Andreas are it, which is weird because this is a team that's like on the brink of sort of top 6 and like say similar to Brighton. And their assets are all cheap, similar to Brighton. And Brighton have got 5-6 names you could throw in the hat as good FPL options. But for some reason, Fulham don't. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've got one that I want to put into the mix in the notebook section today.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should crack on to the notebook now then. You can. All right, let's crack on without further ado to notebook.
This is funny, like Mark and Matthew in the chat straight away shouting. Matthew says, "Good shout on Solomon from you last week, Dean. Too late a player. No wonder he kept Modric out the Shakhtar team." Look,
did he?
Yeah,
Did he?
Yeah, look, Manor Solomon is serious player. He's only really been getting cameos in the league. He's played FA Cup like longer minutes, but he's only been getting a sprinkling of minutes in the Premier League, and that's because look, one, he's coming back from a serious injury. And 2, it's the wide forward positions is an area Fulham have been stacked in and actually been doing well in no matter who plays this season. But Manor Solomon is going to become a nailed-on part of this attack very soon. I think he'll probably be in line for a start against Wolves on Friday, given the impact that he's been having in games so far.
Okay,
mate, he is so good. Like, I'm not blowing this out of proportion. You can't get the ball off him. Like, he's ridiculous. Sometimes he'll dribble it across the pitch and like if I can't find a pass, he just dribbles it back. Like, just waits for. He's like a little Messi. He's unbelievable. He's only 4.9 million. Nobody else will have him. Look, it probably is a bit soon to get him in your team because I don't know for sure that he's going to get the start, but he's going to be really important to Fulham if we're going to do anything in this last part of the season. When we signed him, it was really, really looked as a momentous moment inside Fulham. Like they were like, this player's one to watch out for. Like we're really pleased we got him. Then he suffered this really bad injury, and he's back now. So
what is it with Shakhtar and quick wide forwards? Because like
Oh,
Willian
mate.
was from there, obviously Chelsea's new signing, but also him too. And he's
Yeah.
got all those traits, has he?
Mate, he really has. He's so exciting. Like Fulham fans, like love him getting on the ball. He's given us a new option at the moment, and yeah, it's really hard to describe. He's only small. He is on loan at the moment. I think someone just asked. I think he's on loan with a view to a perm. I think it is, but yeah, he's one to look out for, everyone. So. Yeah, keep your eyes on Manor Solomon. Keep your eyes on Fulham because, yeah, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. You're right, though. There hasn't
beat Wolves.
I think we will. Like based on Wolves at the weekend, Wolves have got this problem at the moment where they're inconsistent, and I think it's more to do with the setup than the personnel. Actually, like Mateus Nunes took quite a bit of flack at the weekend. Cunha's not really getting involved enough. I think Wolves might start mixing up their formation or just looking at new combinations in this team to try and make it take off because they've got some great players in there. I personally think that they won't be going down. I think they'll actually be pretty clear of it by the end of the season. But I think we're catching them at a good time. I think this is a good spot for Fulham on Friday night to actually get a result. So yeah, there's one to stick on your radars, and if you're brave enough to stick Manor Solomon in your side. Right, in my notebook, just two other players I'm going to address. This one is someone I told you to ditch on Friday, or at least not sign, Eddie Nketiah. Look, we've probably all got him because it's a double game week on our doorstep here. But look, I think he's running out of steam in this team. And I'm starting to wonder if they look at rotating the side now. Is there any possibility? I mean, this is something I'm just putting out there because I've heard that it's not impossible that Arsenal do try this, of them playing Martinelli up top.
Arteta said this when Jesus got injured. He said, look, we do have another option. We've got Martinelli who can play as number 9, but we haven't even seen it for 10 minutes. Like Martinelli and Trossard are sharing complete minutes on that side.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just never brings Nketiah off. He's back in his number 9, and Jesus still isn't training. Like he's got another 3-4 weeks, I reckon. He's missing so many big chances now. He's one of the biggest underperformers from his XG in the league. Nketiah, from all forwards, it's like Bamford, Nketiah, Jesus, and Darwin. Like,
yeah, I just wonder, like with these fixtures that are now arriving, if this is an opportunity. Leicester and Everton, in this double, to at least see it for a bit. I mean, it's not impossible. I saw a stat, it was in The Guardian, since the winter break, only Darwin Núñez has underperformed his XG by a wider margin than Nketiah. I think Nketiah's doing fine, but I just want, he's not the same player he was when he first came into this team. And like, there could be 10, 20 reasons for that, but whatever
he's getting close, though, isn't he? He's getting close. And he's getting in the positions.
He is, but he's still
I'm a frustrated owner. I'm a really frustrated. I don't know how I've not had any points from Eddie Nketiah. I've had him for like 4 or 5 weeks.
That's the thing. I'm looking at my team the other day. I look at Odegaard, and I've got him. Odegaard sticks that one wide, and I'm like, what on earth is going on here? Look, a lot of praise for Arsenal and their character. They probably did deserve that result overall. I have to say, I'm still not overly convinced here. I mean, they've gone 3-2 up. Few minutes after Aston Villa should have gone 3-2 up because they actually missed a really good chance with John Duran going through and just shooting too early, in my view. Jorginho smashes one, hits the goalkeeper on the back of the head. That's lucky. The fourth goal's lucky because that's never coming about if the third one doesn't come about. So I understand Arsenal fans getting excited, but I'm going to pour a little bit of cold water over it and say I'm not as convinced as some of you lot are.
I hope they're bloody pleased they got Jorginho now, because when he first signed, they're all like, "Oh, why are we buying this Chelsea misfit?" It's like, "Oh, that's what you get. You get an elite leader. Without Jorginho, they do not win that football match."
Without Partey, you need someone to slot in there, and he's been able to do that. He's not Thomas Partey, but he still helps control that game at times. So absolutely. But yeah, there's a few comments on this. FPL Big Ed said, I've heard it, but Arteta is not going to do that. Mark says, can't wait to get rid of Nketiah from my squad for Watkins. Yeah, not a bad shout at all.
Another bad finisher.
Well, yeah, but at the moment, at least he's in
doing
form
well,
at the
isn't he?
moment.
He
Got
is finishing well
confidence.
now.
That's the difference. That Martinelli talk sounds like FPL manager dreams, says Batsku. FPL River and Ketty's done bugger all since I got him 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah, look, it's a tough one because he's good value. He's in the team at the top of the league. He gets loads of chances, got a double game week. It's silly not to own him because the chances are going to be there. But it's a weird one. After the double game week, I'll be getting rid of him. The last one on my radar is Dwight McNeil at Everton.
Oh, nice. Double game week.
They got a double game week, yeah. I'm mainly looking at the Villa game here. It's a home game. Seems to me that that's where they're going to get enough points this season to build and make sure they're still in this division next season. Sean Dyche will make that a bit of a fortress, something that they've struggled to do in recent times. But we've seen already that McNeil's deliveries are a massive threat in this team. Now, the deliveries don't always have the preciseness that they might need, but they're gonna, like, when his radar is fully tuned in, it's hard to beat. And I think Dwight McNeil in the rest of this season is going to be a major part as to why Everton end up staying up. He'll be on loads of set pieces. I'm not sure if he's definitely on corners, but I imagine he probably is. But his general crossing anyway, and the positions that he gets himself into means that I think he's going to be a big threat. So, yeah, just to throw out there that Dwight McNeil had a pretty decent game, and I think is somebody that we should probably all be looking out for.
Yeah, completely fair point there. And yeah, he is on those set pieces, which are so Burnley. It's McNeil crosses to Tarkowski's head every time. And what's really cool is that first game against Arsenal, Sean Dyche, and I guess this kind of moves us on to my notebook section, but Tarkowski headers are the back stick every time. And I asked a mate from Arsenal Fan TV, James, who does all their tactical stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, do Arsenal concede loads of big chances at the back post from corners? Is it like, were they being targeted? And he was like, no, we've been really good from corners this season, defending corners. And they have been. Gabriel Saliba get the head on a lot. But Sean Dyche had seen something that just to suggest he wants every corner aimed at Tarkowski's head at the back stick. And Tarkowski scored the header against Arsenal from a McNeil set piece at the back post, and it worked a treat.
Yeah.
And again, watching him at the weekend, Tarkowski didn't score, but he came so close. Every corner went to the back post. It wasn't just against Arsenal. He wants that every time. And I don't remember that from Burnley, but he clearly sees that this Everton team, they're so physical, they can win all their headers because the centre-backs, whoever they are, Tarkowski's always one of them. Then you look at the midfielders, players like Decore and Nana's massive. And then if they've got Calvert-Lewin in this team as well, it's a lot of aerial threat there.
Yeah, I mean, football is mad. A month ago, imagine we were sat here recommending all these Everton players to sign. Everyone would think we've gone absolutely mad. But like, this is what's so good about this game. Like, just one managerial change and everything is altered. And now you start to look at the teams that are in trouble, and there's no hope because there's no like clear way to go. Like, you look at Leeds right now, like, what have Leeds got to offer right now? Like, it wasn't that long ago that Everton were in exactly the same state as that. They've brought in a manager that will be able to get the most out of what is left in that squad. And now Leeds are going to have to try and do exactly the same thing. It's really interesting. When you find the right fit, it can really take off.
Yeah. Guys, before we move into our my eye test report, just want to bring out a couple of mentions in the chat. Awesome to see you guys so active tonight. Monday nights are so much fun, honestly. Like, the reason we do these shows live is to interact with you guys. We've got Tiger Twain, who I don't recognize. Good morning from a very wet Hawaii. Love the PLO shirt, Gianni. Thank you for that. Mark and FPL Nuclear Atoms were saying about McNeil and Tarkowski double. Is now serious. Why did I go to Kilman over Tarkowski last week? Well, you thought Wolves would keep a clean sheet to Bournemouth. Tarkowski does feel like the better shout. Remember, Everton are guaranteed to play in that game week 28, which will be a blank for many as well. Wolves aren't guaranteed. A few mentions of Christian Atsu, and we should mention obviously like the tragic news, and just want to recognise him for being not only an awesome footballer that played obviously for a few teams in the Premier League, but a really kind person. And Kelly Summers, friend of the show, tweeted out, I think on Saturday morning, just to say when she was working at Bournemouth with Christian, that he was just the nicest man and smiliest man you could meet. So our thoughts obviously go out to his loved ones, but wanted to recognise that too. But next up, we have got our eye test report. Loads of new people in the chat. I'd never seen Shilly before. Matthew Boswell's with us. Steve and JP. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Make sure you're hitting that like button as well. Only 53 of you have hit the like button. Maybe because we asked them all to hit the notification
They're
bell
hitting the bell
tonight,
instead. Yeah.
I guess the bell is better than the like button tonight.
Yeah.
So my number one was going to be Tarkowski. We've kind of spoken a little bit about him, but yes, there's goal threat there, but we're buying Tarkowski predominantly for his clean sheets. Now, when Tarkowski gets a clean sheet, he often gets bonus points. And again, at the weekend, I think he got an 8-pointer, so 2 bonus. Now, remember, with bonus, you're competing with your teammates. So what you actually want from your centre-backs keeping clean sheets is them to be in a team that aren't getting loads of goals. Now, Everton are winning games 1-0 when they win them. So again, he's not competing with 3 or 4 other attacking players that all got a goal or an assist. Tarkowski is a brilliant buy. He's 4.3 million. I'd be tempted this week, if you can't get to 11 men, to take a hit to bring a Tarkowski in, because you'll make 2 of those points back straight away from appearance. We know that's how double game weeks work. But you will get plenty clean sheets between now and the end of the season from Tarkowski, especially at home, especially against the weaker teams. Now, in the double game week, will you get them? I'm not so sure. Maybe one against Villa. I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet away to Arsenal. We know they had problems against Arsenal at Goodison, but this will be a very different game. But in the long run, you'll get some clean sheets. In game week 28, they have a fixture. It's against Chelsea, but that's not a bad fixture to have at the moment. Goal shy Chelsea. So Tarkowski is a really good addition. If you have Patterson in your team, I have Patterson. He's returned to training. He played 60 minutes for the under-21s the other night. I don't think Patterson's going to start. Loads are going, Patterson should be fit by the double. It's irrelevant if he's fit by the double, if he's not in the 11. And Sean Dyche is not a manager that changes a winning team. Look at his Burnley teams. Yeah. You can name them. The 4-4-2 Burnley team that he had when they were doing well never changed. He had a very small squad of 14, 15 players. And Coleman's his captain and leader and just scored a worldie that he clearly didn't mean, but whatever. If Everton are keeping clean sheets and Coleman's playing well, which they are, and he is, I think he keeps his place. Therefore, if you own Patterson and you're relying on him to get minutes this game week, it's an easy sell. I would sell Patterson to Tarkowski for a hit, because over the long run, you'll make those 4 points up within a game or two.
Yeah, I've actually am transferring Tarkowski in this week. Wan-Bissaka, big letdown for me. The 3 weeks I had him, but luckily he's the same price as Tarkowski, so it's a nice, easy transfer for me that more or less clears up my team. I think I've got a full team once I bring Tarkowski in. I've got a transfer to spare though, so I will be using that towards the end of the week. Just got to decide whereabouts I do that. But yeah, I like that a lot. I like what you're saying there.
Yeah, so there's our Tarkowski little eye test report. I've mentioned the set pieces. Like, it's all about, like, you potentially get a 15-pointer if your centre-back keeps a clean sheet and scores. But want to move on to some other double game week players. We've gone at Everton. I'm going to skip Wolves. I don't think Wolves deserve much love after losing at home to Bournemouth. Did not see that one coming. I was really hoping that Adama Traore would step up this weekend because I saw he was starting. And I was like, he's not been getting any starts. He's clearly seen as an impact sub for most managers he plays for. And he's been doing well off the bench. And I thought, an Adama Traore starting every game could be a fun 1 week punt in a double game week. But no. And Mark's got Sarabia and Sarr. I don't mind those 2 picks, Mark. I think you've probably got the best 2 there, but I still just don't love Wolves.
Yeah. Adama will be done now, I think, at Wolves, to be honest. If this was his last season there, he's not really enjoyed, quite recent, in recent times, not enjoyed much at all. But I think there was a possibility that under the new manager, he might get a new lease of life. Yeah. It's not looking likely, and from what I'm told, Traore is going to be going at the end of the season. But that was a really bad performance actually from him at the weekend. I saw a lot of Wolves fans giving him some stick as well. They weren't very happy with that, with the way he played.
Yeah, and Garav, you're one of our regulars. Discuss Bueno. Your wish is our command. I also would be selling Bueno just like Patterson. Now, I think
Bueno's one of my 11. He's one of the 11 I've got left.
Okay, would I sell him? I'd sell him if I didn't have other fires, but I'd give him this week because it's a double. He'll probably get a game. He'll probably feature in both of them, though, Dean. He'll start one, miss the other. Ait Nouri came in and started, I think, the Liverpool game, which they kept a clean sheet for, which was really good. But then Bueno did start at the weekend, but they lost. So a bit like the Trossard-Martinelli thing, it's hard to call, and it will be completely a share of minutes. But if you do have the transfers, you've got the free transfers to get Bueno out, I would. If you don't, Bueno to Tarkowski, for example, is a good move, but maybe you've got other fires, and that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's so.
Continuing with the eye test report for the other teams, Arsenal, we have to have 3 Arsenal players. I'm sure we've all got them, but I think it's very clear, despite not getting big returns at the weekend, the number one Arsenal asset, if you can get there, is Saka. The penalty appeal's good, but he's the main man there, right? Odegaard's amazing too, but I would be going Saka if I had one only Arsenal player. And I think the fixtures are good for Arsenal. I think Saka is a legit captaincy option. I'm not sure I'd have the minerals to captain Odegaard this week, or Nketiah, or Gabriel, or Ben White. But Saka is genuinely an option alongside your Liverpool attackers that you bring in, right? I think he'll be going Mo Salah. But then the other player I want to touch on is Darwin. So he got a goal. He's got 2 returns in 2 weeks now. And that Liverpool front 3 with Darwin playing left feels a little bit more comfortable for him, because Hakpo is playing in the 9 role but drops quite deep. So it's still almost like a front 2 of Darwin and Salah. It's almost like split forwards with Hakpo sort of in behind them in the Bobby Firmino number 9 role. And yes, Jota and Bobby are fit again, and they will get minutes. And there are 2 spots up for grabs at Liverpool. It's Salah on the right, and we don't know who's going to be nailed on the left or down the centre. I would like to think of the 4 names now all fit: Bobby, Jota, Darwin, and Hakpo. If I was ranking the 4 for expected minutes when fit, I do think Darwin is number 1 in those 4. And I'd probably put Jota at number 2. So we could eventually see a front 3 of Jota number 9, Darwin left, Salah on the right. But for the double game week, I was slightly concerned. He went off injured. He was flagged. He has been spotted in training today. I think it's very likely he'll feature against Real Madrid on Tuesday. I think we eye test one that very carefully on Tuesday. And if he looks good on Tuesday and comes through unscathed, maybe he's a double game week option. But the big question will be, is you're going Salah plus Darwin, or Salah plus Trent or Robbo? Is it Salah plus a defender, or Salah plus a forward? At the moment, despite Darwin looking good and taking his goal well, I think I want 180 minutes from my Liverpool men this week. And I know if I go Trent or Robbo, I'll probably get to 180. If I go Darwin or Jota or Hakpo, I'm definitely not getting 180. I might chase those expected minutes and go Darwin, Salah plus a defender. What's your take, Dean?
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, just looking now, I mean, how I can get... Yeah, obviously I've talked about getting Salah in as triple captain and the potential of me doing that. I could just about do it from these 2 transfers that I'm going to make. But then I was also thinking just then, I was looking at what else I could do, and I could actually, with money to spare, bring in Saka and Darwin instead, which might be better.
Have you got a free Arsenal spot then? You've only got 2 at the moment.
One. Well, that would be for Darwin to come in for Nketiah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If I was going to do it, then Darwin would have to come in for Nketiah, and then Saka would come in into the middle, for probably De Bruyne, and then it opens up enough money that I can do that upgrade in the attack. So that is options. Yeah. But then I'm obviously not taking up the Salah option, which I've talked about for 2 weeks.
Triple captain Saka.
Yeah.
The fixtures are there for it. I do think Saka's a legit captaincy option. Leicester will concede chances. And Everton, they need to get payback on Sean Dyche after what he did to him a couple of weeks ago.
Wow. I mean, this is not something I've contemplated at all, but I'm happy to go on the fly here. I've got to mix things up. I'm down to the 1 million mark now. And then as soon as I'm below that mark, I'm looking to fight back. I'm going kicking and screaming out of this league this season, and I'm going to be taking some gambles from this point on. Let us know, people. What do you think I should do? Should I go the Salah triple captaincy that I've had in mind, or should I try this new route where I bring in Saka and Darwin instead? What would you guys be doing?
I like it, because whoever you triple captain, it will be for a guy you're transferring in, which I think is a really strong approach. Like, if you think someone's going to go, you transfer them in and then you captain them or triple captain them. What's really interesting for the first time in a while is Salah has only got 24% ownership. So when we look at effective ownership, which includes your ownership level with captaincy, I think Saka this week might harm your rank more than Salah. I think Saka could have a higher effective ownership because his actual ownership is 35% versus Salah, who's 24%. And I think there'll be loads that have Saka that perhaps can't get to a Salah that end up going, yeah, Saka's my captain. So I think they'll both be mass captained, and therefore Both could really harm your rank if you go on the other one. But the beauty is if you own both, neither can hurt you too much. But there'll be the two standout captaincy options. There will be a lot of casual players especially, that just have a set and forget on Erling Haaland. And again, his captaincy will still be really, really high. And look, it's a good fixture against Bournemouth, but I do wonder if Pep thinks about giving him a rest. I don't know. That would be the fixture you would target. You'd think it would be the Bournemouth game, although it is away, so maybe not.
Yeah, such a mixed bag of responses. This hasn't helped me at all. Half saying, go Saka, no, stick with your gut. Salah, triple captain is a must. Oh, this really hasn't helped me, but thanks everyone. Thanks.
Golo Galazzo, triple captain Saka. Yeah, there we go. So there we have our eye test scouting. There was lots to be keeping us busy over the weekend, and I think it's really cool that the teams on doubles have some great players. It's not just Arsenal and Liverpool, but I think genuinely, bringing in Tarkowski would be a really wise call. The teams blanking this weekend, remember, include, well, 4 very good teams. So United, Newcastle United, so Man United, Newcastle United, but then Brighton and Brentford. Now, if you've got players from those 4 teams, should you keep or hold? I think a lot of them you keep. So your Man United players like Rashford's, you're keeping. Trippier at Newcastle, you're keeping. Outside of Trippier at Newcastle, I'm probably selling most of them. Outside of Rashford at Man United, I'm probably selling most. Maybe Luke Shaw you keep. I've got that dilemma. Your Brighton midfielders, I've got Solly March, easy keep for me. And then if you've got a Tony or someone at Brentford or even a Ben Mee, again, you probably hold. Remember, Brentford and Brighton both double in a couple of weeks' time. It does mean there will be a lot of teams out there, myself included, who may not get 11 out. I'm looking at the moment at 10 men, unless I sell Luke Shaw. And that's assuming that Ake starts and Bamford starts or whatever. There we go. I don't know if we can do a poll, CH, on YouTube. If so, let us know what you press and how. I have seen polls in chats, but I don't know if that's like something premium members get, or I don't know. I don't know what our membership level is.
I don't know. Yeah, if anyone runs these things, let us know.
Eye test report over and done with now. We should probably check out our teams with some of our early thoughts. So here's Pimp My Team.
Walton Rifles. Not great at all. Dugout
Same as me, I think. I got 42.
Yeah, I don't know what the average was. I mean, the average would have been low anyway, so it wasn't a complete disaster. See if I can find it while we're talking. Average is 44, so it's actually just below. Bit annoying. Haaland, well done, mate. Blanks again. Elmer on 1.
Hit the bar. Did he hit the bar? Was it? He came
close,
Haaland? Didn't he? Yeah, I think so.
Well, he had that chance, didn't he? Where he had that double chance, and he missed both.
That was it. He fired it over. It was in Nketiah hit the bar,
and he stuck it over. It was very weird. And it was in that moment I was like, "Oh, do I keep faith with him?" Definitely. And it kind of reminded me of that moment in the Community Shield when he missed that great chance, and everyone was like, he's never going to do it in English football." And then he scored like 12 goals in 3 games, whatever it was. I was like, that'd be a massive punt to get rid of Haaland before he plays Bournemouth away, wouldn't it? That's probably not a great idea. And that's the other thing with, De Bruyne to Salah, it's probably fine, but you never know. Like, De Bruyne playing against Bournemouth could absolutely have a wild one. So we'll see. I'm obviously not making any of these decisions before the Champions League fixtures this week. Don't like my team at the moment. It's on Friday. I thought it was looking reasonably good. I was reasonably happy with it, but things just did not weigh out very well. Wan-Bissaka, goodbye, my friend. It's been emotional. You will not be seen again.
So your player's not playing twice. Not playing at all. Obviously, you've got 2 Man United, 2 Newcastle United, and potentially Bueno. Although I think Bueno probably gets one of the 2. So Trippier and Rashford you're holding, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
but Wan-Bissaka, would you consider selling?
Wan-Bissaka's probably going.
Could possibly go, no?
Yeah, so this is the thing, isn't it? So there's Wan-Bissaka, which would be a switch to Tarkowski, like we talked about. But then the other thing to do. The thing is that Almiron doesn't really help me get anywhere because he's too cheap.
Money.
Like,
yeah.
if I'm talking there about getting to a Salah or a Darwin or Saka, Salah or Darwin, then I've got to get rid of some bigger hitters than Almiron. So it's probably going to have to be De Bruyne that goes there. So it's a bit complicated. I'm not sure I can even get from De Bruyne. Salah's 0.2 more than De Bruyne, isn't he? So it's not even a like for like change.
Yeah,
that's a bit annoying.
I think Salah may have just gone up in price last night as well.
Was it last night? Yeah. It's not really...
There were a few going early transfers for Salah yesterday because they knew he was rising. But ahead of Champions League, that is so risky.
So risky. It's Real Madrid as well. They done him last time. So if they do another job on Salah, then he could be injured. So it's a tricky one. Matt says, Dean, 100% keep your triple Arsenal and get the extra double players in. That has the most upside. Yeah, you're probably right. Do the Nketiah move after this week and go to Saka then or the week after. Yeah, I saw somebody else saying like it's a bit of a sideways one to work your way to get Nketiah out of this team to get Saka in, which is probably a fair point, to be honest. I mean, their expected points return over the course of 2 games, if Nketiah can take one of these many chances, is probably pretty even, so I might have to consider it. Yeah, but the only flip there would be that if I was to get Saka, I would make him captain or triple captain, whereas Eddie Nketiah has not got a hope in hell getting that armband. So that's the flip.
A lot are saying AWB to Tarkowski, KDB to Salah, which then gives you the triple captain option if you can afford it.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the way to go. I like that. I want Tarkowski.
I like that.
Yeah, I like Tarkowski. I've talked myself into this Salah over the past, whatever it is, 2 weeks. And if I don't follow up on that and it happens, then I'm stupid. So maybe, I think it's probably as simple as that. I'm probably overthinking now. And that will probably be the way I go.
FPL manager. That's what we do, mate. That's what we do.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's have a look at my team. And look, Dean will keep you posted on his moves on Friday. So tune in to Friday's deadline stream. We actually do know when it is. I lied earlier. 4 p.m. on Friday. Set your alarms for 4 p.m. Friday for our deadline stream. We're going early.
Press that bell.
6:30. Yeah, press that alarm bell on that bell on.
I'm going to press it right now, actually. I never press it. I should probably remind me of when I'm due to come on it.
I don't know the options it gives you. Okay, so you can go personalized, none, or don't hit unsubscribe, or all. Okay, so if you click all, every time we go live, which is twice a week, you'll get a notification.
Yeah, that's the one.
Done. Good question coming in the chat from Abra, who I don't think we've spoken to before. Abra, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. Very random question, not related to any specifics. How to remain motivated throughout the season? So this is a really good point. I actually uploaded a video to my Instagram like an hour ago about FPL, a couple of hours ago. I had a really bad game week. It shouldn't hit you too hard. We need to remember this is just a game and games meant to be fun. So rather than thinking about your overall season, just play it week by week. Just think about the immediate goals, and also don't worry too much about your overall rank. Think about perhaps your mini leagues. And if your mini leagues aren't going great, then just mix it up. You can write off a season and go again next year. Still keep playing, but just go, I'm going to have some super row calls. I'm not going to captain Haaland every week. I am going to go bring in Dwight McNeil, whatever. Go and have a little bit of fun with it. It's a bad season.
Yeah. And remember that a lot of people will actually give up. So as a result of that, by remaining focused and keeping going, you probably will make up some ground anyway. So even for self-preservation, it'll boost the confidence at the back end of this season if you keep going, keep making your changes to just improve your rank a bit, because there will be people that as soon as they start sinking towards the million mark or whatever, they consider not to be good enough for them. They'll just give up because they can't be bothered. So don't let that happen to you. Basically, that'll be my main motivation at a moment like this. So I'll pass that on to you.
I didn't realize Abra. It's that Abra. Now I'm with you. This is the Abra that used to present Chasing Green Arrows when we used to do our Premier League reviews and our Champions League coverage. So hello, mate. Hope you're well. And Luke's going to be at work at 4 p.m. on Friday. Luke is fine. You can catch up straight away. Hopefully.
You can watch it at work. I grant permission to watch us from work.
Oh, it was FPL River. Sorry, Luke. Yeah. Luke's around. But
watch us from work.
You got Dean's nod.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, Royal Host here says, hey, hope you're good. I had the exact money to do Bruno to Salah yesterday. Decided to wait because of the Champions League, and now I'm 0.1 million off.
No.
Would you
Oh.
do White to Trent and Bruno to Odegaard? Oh,
Oh.
that's a killer.
I would find a way of getting Salah for that
I
point
think I'd
one.
take a hit still to get to Salah.
I would just find a way of trimming it off somewhere else. Keep your Arsenal assets as they are. You need to sell Bruno. You need to get Salah. It's annoying, Rel, but yeah. Okay, I know I said I wouldn't make early transfers. If I was in Rel's position last night, sorry, Rel, I would have made this move. And that has happened to me when you're priced out. And there is a really good website to use if you want to look at price changes. So I'm going to put it in the chat right now. And for those watching on catch up, the website is fplstatistics.co.uk. I'm on there now. It shows us that there's due to be one player rising in price tonight. At the moment, Cody Hakpo is the only player due to rise. Nonto could also rise, as could Grealish, but they're unlikely to tonight. So again, I'd have checked that before going to bed because I'm sad, and then seen that Salah was going to rise and gone, maybe I would have gone for that move.
That's a good point. Yeah, that would have probably helped me too. Actually, Craig says, "What are your thoughts on Hakpo? Not 100% sold on him, but he's an easy get." Well, actually, I think in the back of his past two performances, there's actually real reason to consider him here. When he first started playing this role that he's got in his Liverpool team, is very unconvincing. He is not natural to him at all. It feels like he's actually been coached into playing this role. I saw a couple of Liverpool fans earlier on social comparing him to like early stages Bobby Firmino replacement.
Oh, nice.
And like the way that he's working and like getting into positions. Darwin also seems to be like better off out wider. It's where he used to play for Benfica.
More space.
There's more space. Maybe less pressure on him, missing these chances that he wasn't converting and letting it get into his head. So honestly, I think actually, if Hakpo's the Liverpool player you can get to, like can't guarantee how many minutes he gets, but he's going to start probably both, at least one.
Yeah, he'll start definitely one.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad place to be going. He's a brilliant player, and it seems like he's finding his feet now in the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't mind that shout. I still prefer Darwin and Salah, obviously, but yeah, Dean's right. Like finding his feet, he's got a role. And look, Jurgen Klopp is very good at coaching that number 9 role. Look what he converted Bobby Firmino to. But when Jota's played it really well. And last season, or maybe the season before last, we saw him moving Mane in the 9 role. Like Mane played it slightly differently. He was more often on the last man, but Jota, Bobby, and Hakpo all dropping deep, getting on the ball. Sort of false 90, works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still a threat. Guys, so my early thoughts here. I am definitely bringing in Mo Salah. De Bruyne will... By the way, can we just reflect? I got 43 points, same as Dean. And I don't like feeling sorry for myself. And I don't want to... Every FPL manager, you wouldn't be an FPL manager if you didn't think you were the unluckiest manager of the game week. We all think it all the time. I was so unlucky. Just want to go through some of my players here. Nketiah, so many chances missed. His XGI was over 1. Never happens.
Yeah.
It was Ben White that kept putting it on a plate for him. He was actually on my bench, but again, he was unlucky not to get an assist. Solly March, so many big chances and good big assists again. He's going to be a good asset when he starts hitting barn doors. And then Haaland, obviously, captaincy. But yeah, it was one of those weeks. Everything worked against me, and you have them, and you just move on. It was a good week to have a bad week because it was a low-scoring game week at least. So I'm only like 20 points down on the field.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but
I don't know many people that had a good one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those that captain Rashford, fair play. You deserve that good game week because it's a bold call. Early thoughts. De Bruyne goes to Salah. I've got tons of money in the bank. I can't remember. 3 million plus. Maybe more. I can go Patterson to Trent if I would like to. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Patterson to Trent. And I've got 2 free transfers. So you can ignore that graphic. It is 2. And then De Bruyne to Salah. Now that gives me 10 men playing if Ake starts. So I'm not selling March, not selling Trippier, not selling Rashford, not selling Shaw. Or I could take a 4-point hit to sell Shaw to Tarkowski. Now that's a really tricky one. I think a situation a lot of FPL managers in are going to be, do I sell Luke Shaw? Because a lot of us will stay loyal to Trippier and Rashford. But Luke Shaw's a really interesting one because he's just kept 2 clean sheets. He's always in and around the bonus. Man United fixtures aren't great. So they play Liverpool in game week 26. I think Luke Shaw, that's a 2-pointer. Southampton in 27 at home is nice. But then in game week 28, again, they're likely to be blanking because that's the FA Cup. So in game week 29, sure, they could get a double. But that might be a week of free hit. So, and then again in 32, again, very likely to be blanking FA Cup again. So Luke Shaw might have to go with a heavy heart. And then I get Tarkowski in, who I'll get at least with Tarkowski, I'm guaranteed minutes. And Tarkowski to Shaw, knowing Shaw's not going to play, Tarkowski only needs 4 appearance points, 2 and 2, and that's already like a break even.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
a sort of 0. So,
Yeah, that's an easy one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'll do it. Punter asks, what should I do? Am I sticking with Bamford? And I guess that has a lot to do with if I decide Trent or Darwin. Like, it could easily be Patterson to Tarkowski, and then I go Bamford to Darwin. But I really want Bamford against Southampton. It's
you could
do. Good fixture.
You could really do with Leeds getting a new manager before the weekend, couldn't you? To have that nice. That new manager bounce.
Is that going to happen, Dean?
Was it Javi Gracia was linked with them today as there's 2 managers that they're looking at, and I think basically Leeds need to react at this moment because Southampton had such a response at the weekend, and their coach looks like he's really got this lot rallied. He's supposed to be a really good coach, really good guy as well, and somebody who's really switched on and wants this job full time. So there's a lot of motivation here for Saints. If something doesn't change between now and the weekend, I really don't see Leeds getting anything. I think they have 8 shots and none on target or something at the weekend. I think it was something like that. They don't have much goal threat. They got Rutter, who, he's only young, but maybe he gets a chance at some point. But Bamford's always the obvious guy for them to turn to. And so if this is going to change, it's probably going to be him. So you're probably better off waiting out this week and just see what happens in that.
Yeah, Javi Gracia, just looking, is the favourite. He's from, you might remember him. It was Watford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, and then Rafa Benitez's odds have been slashed. He's now the second favourite with the bookies. Yeah. Some have got him at 3-1, some at 4-1.
Leeds fans won't want Rafa Benitez. Like, I think that'd be a bad appointment. Like, they have to manage this well in terms of like the mood here. Like, Leeds fans don't want like Steven Gerrard. They don't want a Frank Lampard, and got quite a few mates who support Leeds, and they do not want Rafa Benitez either. They really wanted Nuno. That's anyone I speak to at Leeds. They want Nuno.
He's 14-1 to 10-1, depending on the bookies. Yeah,
I think it's a bit skeptical about it, but interesting one to look out for this week because it'll be one of the big stories as to whether Leeds do appoint a new manager.
Fingers crossed they do, because Bamford needs something. No shot on target for Leeds versus Everton. Very frustrating for Bamford owners. It's not that there's many of them. I think he's like 0.4%. But yeah, I'll probably see him through Punter one more week. I think this might be his last chance. And then Tony has a double game week in 27. So Bamford to Tony feels like a really smart move that I'll probably be taking. Guys, we've got 10 minutes left. Make sure you're hitting that like button and, of course, subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys for all the love tonight. We've had so much great interaction in the chat. For those of you watching on Catch Up, I know we refer to the chat a lot, but genuinely, anyone watching on Catch Up, also, we want to add to the conversation. So any comments you leave on this outside of the chat and actual comments on the video, we'll go through and answer as well. Very much still a part of our ultras and our family. CG Army might be CG Army, might be Ultra, and it's not going to be Ultras. It might be, a few suggestions. We're going to put a Twitter poll out at some point. You guys can pick. We've got to discuss our bonus beast. This is a regular feature every Monday. So let's bring in now a couple of players who caught the eye over the weekend in terms of winning 3 bonus points, and let's see how they did it. Here we go. 32 metrics of the bonus point system. It's not just goals and assists. And I think Martin Odegaard absolutely showed that. Like, I think he got an assist. So Saka, for example, just like Odegaard is a midfielder, Saka got a goal, which is good for bonus points, still does not feature on that list on the right-hand side. That's because he didn't perform well in all the metrics. He was probably offside a bit, probably missed a big chance, didn't create much. Odegaard, 1 assist, which is okay in the bonus points, but absolutely smashed it. Beats Ollie Watkins, who scores, and forwards get plus 24 for a goal.
And did miss a big chance.
And he did miss a bit, and it was probably offside. So, yeah, like Watkins, 29 in the BPS. I think 24 of those 29 is his goal. Odegaard's assist was probably, I can't remember what assists are, like 10, and clocked 25 through his standard baseline. So that is stuff like we can see on screen. Accurate passes, 91% completion rate. Again, you need to be, it matters if it's 70, 80 or 90%. Key passes, 7. Attempted dribbles, like 3 out of 3. Like you're winning points in all of this. And when you're buying players in FPL, he did miss a big chance though, Mikel says. Yeah, you're right. And Gaurav points out Saki yellow card harmed him too. And it was a big chance missed from Odegaard. And he got -2 or 3 for that. He only had 1 chance in the game, and it was an open goal, as Dean said. Like really unlucky. I think his XG on that was about 0.37. But my point here is, if you're looking at buying 2 players and they are producing similar in terms of goals and assists, just filter on the FPL site, bonus points. And players like Odegaard always come up really, really high. And it's a really useful additional 3 points. Like, it doesn't look like a blank at all for Odegaard. Like, I think he walked away with 6-9 points. Pretty useful. So that was Arsenal Villa. And yeah, cracking game. Martinelli owners, I know you'll get the goal and you'll think, oh, maybe keep him now because he's just scored. Martinelli's a hard sell still for me. He might start even both games in the double. I think he'll probably start one of the 2, but let's say he starts both. He'll definitely come off subbed in both of them. When you can only have 3 Arsenal players and they're so precious, you need Arsenal players that are getting 80 minutes plus, 75 minutes plus. And there's a real feel in Martinelli. 1, that he's not going to start every week, but 2, that he'll come off pre-60. And yeah, the goal, great. But come on. Last kick of the game, virtually. Emi Martinez up for a corner. It's an open goal. It could have been anyone. It wasn't like he carved open a defence and slotted it past the keeper. So don't be blinded by that.
Yeah. What do you make of Zinchenko? There's a couple of questions just coming on in. One, why the bonus points? And another, like somebody feels we're overlooking Zinchenko. What would you say about him?
I really like Zinchenko. The reason I actually had him earlier in the season when everyone was buying the Arsenal centre-backs, Saliba and Gabriel, I went Zinchenko. Mark Southerns, many will know as the FPL godfather, was at the Arsenal City game, and I was at the Arsenal Man United game. And both of us came away from those games and said the best player on the pitch was Zinchenko. Not something you see on TV necessarily, because I don't watch Arsenal a lot and say Zinchenko was the best player. It was really interesting that Mark and I both thought that, having watched him live. He drifts like Cancelo at City into the midfield, and therefore in those midfield areas, he's always on the ball. So again, he would have been really good for key passes. He would have probably had a dribble or 2. His completion would have been high. His touches would have been high. His tackles and interceptions and blocks would have been good. So he's always in central areas. He's not actually out wide. Therefore, yeah, he racked up the bonus. And did he not score or get an assist?
He scored, yeah. He scored, yeah.
So again, like, you're rewarded for a goal. Defenders aren't rewarded like forwards or midfielders for a goal. I think it's around plus 10 or 12 rather than 24 or 18 for a mid. Carol does ask if he's a minutes risk. No, Carol, trust me, when Zinchenko's fit for Premier League minutes, he's absolutely nailed. He is one of Arteta's go-to players. The only reason we've seen him rotate in the past was when he's coming back from injury, got a knock, or when there's European football in the week. But at the moment, it will be, if you're fit, you're playing, you're one of our leaders. So don't worry about minutes there. The only risk is he hasn't got the best injury record and therefore could miss some games with injuries, whilst Ben White and Gabriel are kind of a bit more bulletproof.
Yeah, totally that. And no one else can fill the role like he does it. He plays it in a very unique way, doesn't he?
Yeah, like very few can do that. We forget, like, for Ukraine, this is a guy that plays number 10 or like centre mid. Like, he isn't actually a left back, is he? Well, not by trade.
No.
That was Pep, who's now playing Bernardo Silva at left back. So make of that.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, there we go on Odegaard. Let's move on to our next bonus beasts player. Bonus beast.
Mate, Trent.
Blast from the past, this one. And look, I think he got an assist, but look at that, 47 in the BPS. Key passes 4, but he's also getting the clearances. The big chances created 2. he smashed it at the weekend. And Robertson's a really good buy as well. When Liverpool keep a clean sheet, the Liverpool fullbacks smash it in the bonus points because they're expected so much in terms of attacking output. And even when he doesn't assist or score Trent, he's still providing really good chances just every game. We did see a big drop-off from Trent earlier this season and maybe at the end of last season, which is why this World Cup spot was up for debate. And this season, he hasn't been great. But Mikel says it in the chat, Trent is back. And I think if we've been watching Liverpool in the last couple of weeks, not only are they playing better, but you can look at Liverpool and go, Trent looks back to his old self. And Klopp's not subbing him off because, he wasn't even guaranteed. We saw a few games when Milner played right back. I think Joe Gomez has played out there. He's looking really sharp again. It's worth noting, though, Newcastle still put up around 2xG when they had 10 men against Liverpool. This is still a team that will concede goals. They've just kept 2 clean sheets, Liverpool. I do not expect them to keep 2 clean sheets in the double. I'm buying Trent for attacking returns and hopefully 1 clean sheet. But this is still a defence that are conceding chances for fun.
Yeah.
Were you surprised with that, Dean? Newcastle with 10 men shouldn't be putting up 2xG against Liverpool.
Oh, it's frustrating. I did have a bet on 2-1 in this game to Liverpool. Once they went down to 10 men, I was really annoyed. I was like, oh no, like to cash out was rubbish. It wasn't a big bet. It would have been nice if it had come in. But I was actually quite buoyed by the performance. I was like, do you know what? I kept watching the thing and this still could happen. Like it's not beyond the realms that they managed to get one here.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little surprised. But at the end of the day, this is a Liverpool team that do give up chances. They are turning a corner though a little bit. We'll see. This week's a really big one for them. Obviously, Real Madrid up next, and see if they can come through that one unscathed, and then march on again.
Yeah. I think Trent will get a huge amount of love this week. If you can't reach him, Robertson's a really good buy, and we can see there the bonus points. Like Robertson, no goal or an assist, still clearly getting the 2 bonus, and both are really good options. They're matching each other this season. They're both on 75 points, 6.8 and 7.3. I do think Trent, having seen what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, may be worth a little bit extra. But you'll notice on the FPL website, they've added their expected goal involvement. And Robbo and Trent are very, very similar. So, yeah, it doesn't matter too much. They also share set pieces nowadays, remember? Used to be a case of you wanted Trent because you got the free kicks and corners. You don't get that now. You get half them. Robbo takes half. I don't think I'll be triple captaining him, though, Rafiq. I think owning him might be enough.
That would be a big punt. That'd be a big punt. You've used your triple captain, haven't you?
I have. I went Haaland and he got like 7-8 points. It was his worst combo ever.
Yeah, totally.
It's been awesome having so many in the chat tonight, Dean. It makes our stream so much more.
I love it.
More rich, doesn't it? When there's such buzzy conversation.
Yeah, it's great. There's this one from Michael that I think is a good one to head out on. On unlimited transfers, which 3 Liverpool and 3 Arsenal would you pick? Salah, Trent, Darwin, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Saka for me, he says. That is a nice situation to be in.
I agree with his Liverpool. It would be Salah, Trent, Darwin. Number 4 would be Robbo.
Yeah.
And then my Arsenal would be Saka, Odegaard, and Nketiah. It would still be triple Arsenal attack because I do think this is a team that can go and score 4 goals in any given game. And they are conceding goals. So I'd go triple attack. I can't get to triple attack. Nketiah's got to score eventually.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? He can't keep passing up these opportunities. Like, he is a good player. Like, if he misses... The thing is, like I said at the top of the show, if he starts this first one and he's missing still, I do wonder whether they consider bringing Martinelli into that role just to try it, because he's going to be able to do it. Like, I know he hasn't done it for a while, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, at least for a final 20 minutes or something.
Yeah,
just give it. I'm really surprised we haven't seen that, especially when Nketiah's goals have dried up. But Arteta feels pretty set in his ways with that one, but we'll see. Especially if knowing Jesus isn't possibly back for another couple of weeks. At some point, you've got to change things. Guys, thank you so much for all your conversation tonight. Sorry we haven't got to every question, but look, we'll pick up these questions again on Friday. So come by Friday, 4 p.m. UK time, which is 2.5 hours before the deadline. So we're doing an early deadline stream and we'll only be live for an hour. So that is an hour you absolutely have to be with us. And FPL River, who watches every show, says tonight was a quality stream as always. Thank you very much, guys. And before you go, Make sure you're following Dean on socials. Check out the Ranks FC YouTube channel as well. You can, for all your football stuff, not just your FPL stuff. And then likewise, check out my social handles. And if you want to follow me on YouTube for daily short 60-second videos, just type my name into YouTube, or you'll see me in the comments here. I'm just going to comment. So give us a subscribe as well. But before you go, if there's one thing you do is like and subscribe this channel. We do Mondays and Fridays, and we'll be back on Friday at 4. But for now, he's been Dean, I've been Gianni, and we've been chasing green arrows.